Yogaha Karmasu Kaushalam.
Hello friends, welcome to the second session on fixed and flexible budgeting. In the previous session, we understood the concepts of fixed and flexible budgets, when they are prepared and what are the respective merits and limitations. In this session, we will learn the practical aspects of preparing a flexible budget. After studying this session, you will be able to understand how to prepare a flexible budget, impact of fixed and variable expenses on cost per unit and profit, usefulness of flexible budget to the management. Let us first of all take an example to learn how to prepare a flexible budget. Prepare a flexible budget for production at 100% and 80% capacity on the basis of the information that follows. At 100% capacity, the production is of 20,000 units and the cost incurred is raw material rupees 20 per unit, direct labor rupees 12 per unit, other direct expenses rupees 5 per unit, factory expenses rupees 80,000 of which 50% is fixed, office and administrative expenses rupees 30,000 which is fixed, selling and distribution expenses rupees 1 lakh of which 80% is fixed. Let us take the solution. It is important to note that raw material, direct labor and other direct expenses are fully variable. Office and administrative expenses are fixed, while factory expenses and selling and distribution expenses are semi-variable. Before preparing the flexible budget, let us do certain calculations. Here, it is very important to remember that fixed expenses are incurred in total, while variable expenses are incurred per unit. Factory and selling and distribution expenses are semi-variable, which will be divided into fixed expense as a total amount and variable expense as a per unit figure. Let us take the first calculation. The production at 100% capacity is 20,000 units. So, production at 80% capacity will be 80% of 20,000 which equals to 16,000 units. Let us take the second calculation. Total factory expenses are rupees 80,000 of which 50% is fixed. Hence, fixed factory expenses will be 50% of 80,000 which is rupees 40,000 and variable factory expenses will be 50% of 80,000 which is rupees 40,000 in total. Per unit variable factory expenses will be rupees 40,000 divided by 20,000 units which is equal to rupees 2 per unit. Let us take the third calculation. Total selling and distribution expenses are rupees 1 lakh of which 80% is fixed. Hence, fixed selling and distribution expenses will be 80% of 1 lakh which is equal to rupees 80,000 and variable selling and distribution expenses will be 20% of 1 lakh which is equal to rupees 20,000 in total. Per unit variable selling and distribution expenses will be rupees 20,000 divided by 20,000 units which equals to rupee 1 per unit. Now, let us prepare the flexible budget at 100% and 80% capacity. First of all, prepare a flexible budget statement with 3 columns: particulars, 100% capacity which is 20,000 units and the third column 80% capacity 16,000 units. Let us now start putting the costs into this statement. The direct cost first. The first cost that we shall show is direct material, which is given as rupees 20 per unit. On that basis, let us now understand what will be the direct material cost for 20,000 units. It will be 20,000 units multiplied by rupees 20 per unit, that is rupees 4 lakh, and let us put it in the second column against direct material. Let us also now consider the material cost for 16,000 units. 16,000 units multiplied by rupees 20 per unit, the direct material cost will be rupees 3,20,000. Please put it in the third column, which shows the cost for 16,000 units. That was for the direct material cost. To this, let us now add the next cost, direct wages, which is given to be rupees 12 per unit. Accordingly, in the second column, let us put the direct wages for 20,000 units, which will be 20,000 units multiplied by rupees 12 per unit, rupees 2,40,000. In the third column, let us put the direct wages for 16,000 units at rupees 12 per unit. It calculates to rupees 1,92,000. The third cost to be added now will be direct expenses, which is given to be rupees 5 per unit. Accordingly, for 20,000 units at rupees 5 per unit, the direct expenses will be rupees 1 lakh, and for 16,000 units at rupees 5 per unit, it will be rupees 80,000. Let us now total up these direct costs to get the prime cost. For 20,000 units, the prime cost is 7,40,000 rupees, whereas for 16,000 units, it calculates to rupees 5,92,000 after adding the three costs already calculated. To this now, we shall add factory overheads. Let us take the variable portion first, which we already calculated to be rupees 2 per unit. Accordingly, for 20,000 units, the variable factory overheads will be rupees 40,000 at the rate of rupees 2 per unit. For 16,000 units at rupees 2, the cost calculates to rupees 32,000. Let us now consider the fixed component, which we calculated already at 40,000, and this does not change whether 20,000 units or 16,000 units are produced. So, we put the same figure for both the columns. As we add the factory overheads now to the prime cost, we derive the factory cost, which is rupees 8,20,000 for 20,000 units and rupees 6,64,000 rupees for 16,000 units. To this, friends, we will now add the office overheads. The office overheads are fixed, rupees 30,000, which remain 30,000 at both levels. So, we write 30,000 for 20,000 units as well as 30,000 for 16,000 units. By adding the factory cost and the office overheads, we get the cost of production. For 20,000 units, it calculates to rupees 8,50,000, and for 16,000 units, it calculates to rupees 6,94,000. To this now, we shall add the selling overheads. The variable component first at rupee 1 per unit, which we already calculated earlier. For 20,000 units, it will be rupees 20,000 at rupee 1 per unit, and for 16,000 units, it will be rupees 16,000 at rupee 1 per unit again. The fixed component of the selling and distribution cost, rupees 80,000, remains the same for both the levels of production, 20,000 units as well as 16,000 units. Now, this gives us the total cost. The total cost therefore, for 20,000 units calculates to rupees 9,50,000, and for 16,000 units it is rupees 7,90,000. We can also calculate the cost per unit. So 9,50,000 rupees divided by 20,000 units, the cost per unit will be rupees 47.50. Whereas for 16,000 units, the cost per unit calculates to rupees 49.375. Friends, this example will help us understand the impact of fixed and variable expenses on cost per unit and profit. Here, it is very interesting to note that cost per unit is rupees 47.50 at 100% capacity when 20,000 units are produced, and it is rupees 49.375 at 80% capacity on production of 16,000 units. The cost will increase by rupees 1.875 per unit if the level of operation reduces. We can also say that profit will also reduce by rupees 1.875 per unit if the level of operation is reduced from 20,000 units to 16,000 units. This is because of the presence of fixed expenses. Total fixed expenses remain the same even if production reduces, which increases the cost per unit. On the other hand, variable expense per unit remains the same irrespective of the production units. As a result, total variable expenses change as per the change in the level of operation. Hence, we can conclude that fixed expenses play a major impact on cost per unit, assuming other things remaining the same. As a result, friends, a flexible budget is very useful to the management. A flexible budget helps the management in various ways, such as to determine the cost per unit at different levels of operation, to ascertain the profit at different levels of operation, to fix the selling price, to offer discounts to customers if sales can be increased and thereby retaining the same profit due to reduced cost per unit, to take decision of cost reduction and cost control. Let us take another example of flexible budget. A department of company X attains sales of rupees 12 lakhs at 80% of its normal capacity, and its expenses are administration costs, office salaries rupees 1,80,000, general expenses 2% of sales, depreciation rupees 15,000, rates and taxes rupees 17,500. Second part of the cost, selling costs, which are salaries 8% of sales, travelling expenses 2% of sales, sales office expenses 1% of sales, and general expenses 1% of sales. The distribution costs now, wages and salaries rupees 30,000, rent 1% of sales, other expenses 4% of sales. Draw up a flexible budget for operations at 90% and 100% of the normal capacity. Let us take the solution. Let us first calculate the sales at 90% level. Sales at 80% level are rupees 12 lakhs as given in the question. So, what will be the sales at 90% level? It will be rupees 13,50,000. Let us also calculate the sales at 100% level. Sales at 80% level rupees 12 lakhs as given. Hence, the sales at 100% level will be calculated to be rupees 15 lakhs. Let us now prepare the flexible budget of the department. Let us prepare the flexible budget with 4 columns. First column particulars, second column 80% level, third column 90% level, and the fourth column at 100% level. Let us record the sales first, as already calculated earlier, rupees 12 lakhs, rupees 13,50,000 and rupees 15 lakhs respectively for 80, 90 and 100%. Let us now record the administration costs. First, office salaries, they are fixed at 1,80,000 rupees So write down 1,80,000 for all the 3 levels. The next cost is general expenses, which is to be taken at 2% on sales. Accordingly, at 80% and 12 lakh sales, the general expenses will be 2% of that, rupees 24,000. At 90% sales, rupees 13,50,000, 2% of it, rupees 27,000 will be the general expenses, while at 100% accordingly the general expenses will calculate to rupees 30,000. The next cost, depreciation, which is fixed, and rupees 15,000 for all the 3 levels. The next cost is rent and taxes, which is again fixed, rupees 17,500 at all the 3 levels. Let us now total up the administration costs. 2,36,500 at 80%, 2,39,500 at 90% and 2,42,500 at 100%. Let us now consider the selling costs. The first one, salaries, which are to be taken at 8% of sales. Accordingly, for 12 lakhs of sales at 8%, the salaries will be 96,000 rupees. For 13,50,000 at 8%, the salaries work out to 1,08,000 rupees, and at 15 lakh at 8%, the salaries will be rupees 1,20,000. The next, travelling expenses to be taken at 2% on sales. Accordingly, at the 3 levels, the travelling expenses will be rupees 24,000, 27,000 and rupees 30,000 respectively. The sales office expenses are to be taken at 1% on the sales. Accordingly, the sales office expenses will be calculated to be rupees 12,000, rupees 13,500 and rupees 15,000. The next is general expenses, which will be taken at 1% on sales. So, this calculates to 12,000, 13,500 and 15,000 respectively on the basis of the sales. Let us total up only the selling costs now. The selling costs at 80% calculate to 1,44,000 rupees, at 90% rupees 1,62,000 rupees and at 100% rupees 1,80,000 rupees. Let us now take the distribution costs. The first of them is wages, which are fixed. So, 30,000 for all the 3 levels. Rent is to be taken at 1% of sales. Accordingly, rent will be 12,000, 13,500 and 15,000 at the 3 different levels. Other expenses now, which are to be taken at 4% on sales. It calculates therefore to 48,000 rupees, 54,000 rupees and 60,000 rupees at the 3 levels respectively. Therefore, the total distribution cost will be rupees 90,000, rupees 97,500 and rupees 1,05,000 respectively. Let us total up all the 3 different costs and we get the total costs at rupees 4,70,500 when the sales are rupees 12 lakhs, rupees 4,99,000 when the sales are rupees 13,50,000 and rupees 5,27,500 when the sales are expected to be 15 lakhs at 100% capacity. Here it is interesting to observe that when the level of activity increases by 10% from 80% to 90%, total costs increase by 6%. That is, total expenses increase by rupees 28,500, which is 6% of rupees 4,70,500. When level of activity increases from 90% to 100%, total expenses increase by 5.7%. That is 28,500, which is 5.7% of rupees 4,99,000. Hence, the proportion of increase in total cost decreases when level of activity increases. This is due to fixed expenses which do not increase with the increase in level of operation. Let us take the third example. The details of cost are: material cost per unit is rupees 20, labor cost per unit is rupees 12, factory expenses are rupees 40,000 at 4,000 units and rupees 60,000 at 8,000 units. Office expenses at 4,000 units rupees 30,000, of which 1/3 is fixed. Selling expenses at 4,000 units rupees 16,000, of which 50% is fixed. The selling price per unit is rupees 40. Prepare flexible budget for 4,000 units, 8,000 units and 10,000 units and calculate profit at all levels. It is expected that material cost will increase by 20% and all fixed expenses will increase by 10%. Let us take the solution. We observe here that factory expenses, office expenses and selling expenses are semi-variable expenses. They should first be segregated into variable and fixed expenses. Let us take the first working note. Factory expenses rupees 40,000 at 4,000 units and 60,000 at 8,000 units. Let us first calculate variable factory expense per unit. Variable factory expense per unit is equal to change in total expenses divided by change in units, which is 20,000 divided by 4,000, that is equal to rupees 5 per unit. Total variable factory expenses therefore will be rupees 5 per unit multiplied by 4,000 units, which is equal to rupees 20,000. Now total fixed factory expenses are equal to total semi-variable expenses minus total variable expenses, which is equal to 40,000 minus 20,000, or say rupees 20,000. However, fixed factory expenses for the budgeted period will be rupees 20,000 plus expected 10% increase of rupees 2,000, which equals to rupees 22,000. Let us take the working note number 2 for office expenses, which are rupees 30,000 at 4,000 units, of which 1/3 is fixed. So total fixed office expenses will be equal to 30,000 multiplied by 1/3, which is equal to rupees 10,000. Fixed office expenses for the budgeted period will be rupees 10,000 plus expected 10% increase rupees 1,000, which equals now to rupees 11,000. Total variable office expenses are equal to total semi-variable expenses minus fixed expenses. 30,000 minus 10,000, which is equal to rupees 20,000. So variable office expenses per unit will be rupees 20,000 divided by 5,000 units, which is equal to rupees 4 per unit. Let us take working note number 3. Selling expenses are rupees 16,000 at 4,000 units, of which 50% is fixed. So total fixed selling expenses will be 50% of rupees 16,000, which equals to rupees 8,000. Fixed selling expenses for the budgeted period will be rupees 8,000 plus expected 10% increase of rupees 800, which comes to now rupees 8,800. Total variable selling expenses equal to total semi-variable expenses minus fixed expenses. 16,000 minus 8,000, which is equal to rupees 8,000. So variable selling expenses per unit will be rupees 8,000 divided by 4,000 units, that is equal to rupees 2 per unit. After these calculations, let us now prepare a flexible budget statement with 4 columns, namely particulars, 4,000 units, 8,000 units and 10,000 units. So the material cost, rupees 20 plus 20% increase as given at rupees 24 per unit. The material cost will be rupees 96,000, rupees 1,92,000 and rupees 2,40,000 respectively. To this we add the direct labor cost. At rupees 12 per unit, which will be rupees 48,000, rupees 96,000 and rupees 1,20,000 respectively. The material and direct labor cost will total up to the prime cost, which is rupees 1,28,000, rupees 2,56,000 and rupees 3,20,000 respectively. To this cost, we add the factory overheads as calculated in working note number 1. The variable portion at rupees 5 per unit as calculated will be rupees 20,000, rupees 40,000, rupees 50,000 respectively on the number of units. The fixed portion will be rupees 22,000 at all the 3 levels. So, adding prime cost and factory overheads, we derive the factory cost, which will be rupees 1,70,000, rupees 3,18,000 and rupees 3,92,000 respectively. Now, we shall add office overheads calculated in the working note number 2. The variable component rupees 4 per unit as calculated will be rupees 16,000, rupees 32,000 and rupees 40,000 respectively. However, the fixed office overheads will remain fixed at rupees 11,000 for all the 3 levels. And now we get the cost of production, which is the sum total of factory cost and office overheads. It comes to rupees 1,97,000, rupees 3,61,000 and rupees 4,43,000. Now we add the selling overheads as calculated in working note number 3. The variable selling overheads at rupees 2 per unit calculate to rupees 8,000, rupees 16,000 and rupees 20,000 respectively. The fixed selling overheads will be rupees 8,800 at all the 3 different levels of sales and production. And so now we get the total cost. At 4,000 units, which calculates to 2,13,800. At 8,000 units, the total cost is 3,85,800 rupees, and at 10,000 units, the total cost comes to be rupees 4,71,800. If we write the sales at rupees 60 per unit, the sales will be rupees 2,40,000, rupees 4,80,000 and rupees 6 lakh respectively. The difference between the sales and the cost will give us the profit as the balancing figure. So, the profit will be respectively rupees 26,200, rupees 94,200 and rupees 1,28,200. That was a total profit. On that basis, we can now calculate the profit per unit. Total profit divided by the number of units, we get rupees 6.60 at 4,000 units, profit rupees 11.85 per unit when 8,000 units are produced and sold, and the profit will go up to rupees 12.82 per unit when 10,000 units are produced. If we try to calculate the rate of profit on sales, profit divided by sales as a percentage, we get 10.92%, 19.625% and 21.37% at the 3 levels of sales and production. In this case, profit per unit increases as the level of activities increases. If we examine the rate of profit on sales, it also increases with the increase in level of activities. Such information is very useful to the management for decision making. Friends, let us now summarize what we learned in this session. With the help of practical examples, we studied how to prepare a flexible budget at various probable levels of activities. We also understood that the presence of fixed expense component helps to reduce the cost per unit and increase the profit per unit as the level of operations change. As a result, a flexible budget is more useful to the management for decision making as compared to a fixed or a static budget. It helps to determine the cost per unit, profit and selling price at different levels of operations. The management can consider to offer discounts to customers if sales can be increased and the same profit can be retained due to reduced cost per unit. Thus, a flexible budget becomes an important tool for cost reduction and cost control. Friends, hope you enjoyed this practical session on the preparation of flexible budgets. Thank you.